Hello, everybody. Super good morning. Welcome to the weekend Friday session today, right? So, and it's 8:30 in the morning, right? So today we're gonna talk a little bit about something that's a bit more esoteric. Phone setting. Right, so no, yeah, if I certainly jump into this sort of topic, right, you guys will get completely confused. So that's why I decide to go with talking about the five arts first, so that you guys have a common foundation, right? So right now I think you guys understand the five art, and more importantly, you start to realize that actually all of them are the same. Right, all of them work on the same principle. Is the same principle bring on to a different place to use, right? So it's bring on to a different place to use, so the application is a bit different, but the foundational of the yin yang trinity is always the same, and there is always this particular connecting component which is called the qi. So everything in Chinese metaphysics basically uses the qi as a ingredient in their service and usage. Hello, Peppu, how are you doing? Hello, Carol. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, Kelvin. Hello, Robin. Right, so now we're gonna talk a little bit about this particular esoteric thing, especially this Taoism thingy. Right, so now it's now every time you go into this sort of topic like Taoism, Buddhism, a lot of people has this thinking that oh, it's religion, right? Unfortunately, it's not. Unfortunately, basically it's not, right? So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, so keep an rather open mind, right? So this is gonna be something that is a bit more on the I would say entertaining side a bit, right? So and then I'll bring out the entire point of why certain things happen in certain way and why we do things in a certain manner, right? So there's a lot of conceptualization things that's happening. So unfortunately, Chinese has notorious for being misrepresented when you talk about translation of things that's happening, right? So let's take a look at let's jump into the topic itself, have a bit of a discussion. Might be a bit tiny bit lengthy, right? So hi Kising, hi So, how are you doing? Right, so now I don't know whether you guys have seen before, right? So now this is how you get in touch with me. There's of course the Telegram, there is this the monthly newsletter. Like for example, yesterday we just published activation date that improve your charm, that improve your command, that improve your authority, right? So if you want those sort of activation date, please go and subscribe to the what we call Substack, right? So when you subscribe to it, every time I publish any of these, you would basically get the email, right? So it's easier, right? So then of course there's the community channel, which is Facebook, right? So you need some community help, right? So like I can see that some of you started to post some date that you are using, right? So you're welcome to post all those stuff, so dates that you are personally using, explain to people why this date is useful, so stuff like that. So feel free to go to the community channel and what we call share this out to people, so that people know that you are also somebody who wanted the entire Chinese metaphysics community to grow. All right, so pretty simple, right? So do that. Then whether you guys have seen this before, Lin Tan, this is called making pill. If you've seen Chinese what we call books before, this is one of the big thing. And Xin Huangdi, the Qin Shi Huang, right? So Qin Shi Huang, you guys know, right? So he has done quite a lot at that point in time, basically in the idea of trying to find the elixir of immortality. Right, elixir immortality, ask people to make, right? So stuff like that, so that they can extend their life, right? So you see, the entire idea of extending the life, right? So a lot of people also misrepresented this entire thing of extended the life. They think that extended the life mean that immortal never gonna die. That is what they think, right? So in the Chinese metaphysics world, extending the life, you need to know. Chinese metaphysics has been developed for very, very long time ago, so it's shown you already maybe 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, I don't care how many thousand, it's thousands years already, right? So now if you go back to 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, what is the average age of a person? They probably die at 40, maybe 50. That's their age. So if you are able to, through some way of cultivation, understanding your body, understanding chi, understanding food, to be able to nourish yourself, internally, externally, whatever it is, and to extend your life to 70 years old. To the people and the population at that point in time, you are considered as immortal. Right? So because as an average of 30 to 40 years old as one lifetime, you are able to reach 80. You got 2 lifetime already. Yeah? Understand or not? You got 2 lifetime already. Like right now, not everybody is 80 years old, right? Like no one cares. Immortality last time is actually just that, right? So you to be able to extend your life way beyond the common population. So some people really does that, right? Some people through cultivation, right? So through cultivation. So the entire idea of cultivation in the olden day is sin sin. The word sin you can call fairy, right? So you call fairy. It's basically a mountain with a person beside it. 人字部做個山, that's called sin, right? So that's why when you say 成仙, it's basically a person going into the mountain. Isn't that the mountain art? Yeah, that's the mountain art. The entire mountain art is basically about cultivation. Cultivation, going back to natures, right? So going back to natures, right? So being able to reconnect with the purest form of chi from the nature, right? So later I'll bring you all of this together for you to know what are the modern equivalent of things that we are currently doing. So this is the entire idea of trying to gain immortality last time, and the entire idea of making the pill, which is under the medicinal art, by the way, right? Under the medicinal transformation, making the pill, so that you can take in the chi, the nourishment, the chi directly from outside. Right, so you guys know that if you want chi to come from outside, is either through taking the herbs, animal, whatever you say, basically food stuff, right? So that has the chi to nourish you, or you need somebody to transfer their chi to you, which is through acupuncture, moxibustion, all those kind of things, right? It's through chi transference. Or you go and learn mountain arts and you harness the chi from the nature and you direct the chi inside of you. So either one of these basically allow you to attain this what we call a longer life, immortality, right? Is to make your shell last longer. I think it's yes, it can be done. Okay, it can be done, right? So nowadays, we basically call the health regime, so you try to be healthy. Now you understand that what food basically destroy you, what are the food that basically keep you healthy. It is exactly the same thing. So I just tell you already, Chinese is crappy at marketing. One thing I always say, that Chinese is very crappy at marketing. Right, so now of course this is how last time is done, right? So this is how last time is done. Yeah, I know they basically do all the cooking and everything, right? So the cauldron thing is basically one of the tools that is used to concentrate the heat. The function of the function of the cauldron is basically to collect heat and concentrate the heat. So again, right, so in Chinese medicine, everything is about concentration, right? So it's concentrating the heat so that all the qi can be concentrated inside a pill, and you can basically swallow the pill, right? So this is the entire process of pill making. And when making pill that time, right, actually the location of where the pill is being made is very, very important. So again, right, it's about conversion of qi. There are places on the planet, right, so where the qi concentration is higher. So when you concentrate the qi at that particular point, the what we call lineages, so which is the environmental qi energy at a particular area, can be harnessed and collected. Much like what we do in feng shui in activation, right? So in activation, that when we put the water activation, we are actually collecting the energy. Yeah, right. So the very recent activation, the one that I published yesterday, right? The activation is a bit different from last time. Last time I asked you to do active pump. This activation, no active pump one, still water. I said, why still water? Because the activation has a different functionality, right? So no. Right, so there is a reason behind it. Is because you're not exposed to the reason, or more specifically is that you forgot to go and find out about the reason, right? So it's fine. right? I like to do this sort of research, right? So I go and read, stuff like that. I try to understand what the hell are the olden day people doing, right? So, and when it comes to the modern world, how does it change, things like that, right? So now here's the thing, I don't have any plan to go and make pills. I just read the process, for the fun part of it, right? So a very important part you always see is that there is always mentioned specific location where the concentration of qi is basically, you can call it purer, more refined, better, more abundance, right? So whatever that you want to call it, right? So they always look for these sort of places, and these sort of places always happen to be on high mountains. All right, because why? The mountain is the place where the constellation energy is being collected. Right, by the way, if you study feng shui, they will basically tells you in one of the chapter that tells you mountain formation is because of the cosmic influence onto the planet Earth. Millennia, the planet Earth is exposed to this particular energy, so the Earth collects the energy. So when the Earth collects the energy, mountains are formed. So of course today you're gonna tell me that no lah, mountains are formed because two tectonic plates hit each other and push the thing up. Okay. Whichever work for you, work for you. So the idea is the mountain mark the place whereby the cosmic energy keep on transmitting down. So the mountains is formed. All right. So if you are going to be in the particular mountain specific place to perform this sort of energy harvesting activity, right? So these are energy harvesting activity. You harvest the energy, you put it into a pill, like how we harvest the energy and then we put it into a battery. No difference. All right, so energy harvesting, so you are at that particular place where the energy concentration or the download of the energy is the best, right? No pump at all, right? No need bigger bucket for water. Again, the size of the water is really depending on you. Small bucket, small effect, big bucket, big effect. You just think of that, right? So your bucket should be already the same by now. So I use the bucket that is used to store water for water rationing in KL. So KL, there's a lot of water rationing happening. So everybody has some bucket that they use to store water for water rationing. It's pretty cheap. It's usually 30 ringgit Malaysia, 30 ringgit only. Okay, go buy one of those, right? And then use it until it destroys itself. All right, so now back to this one, right? So this is one of the things, right? So now a lot of times what will happen is that if you want to find this sort of qi convergent place, it's actually pretty difficult. So because first of all, we normal human are not accustomed to qi detection. Not many people is accustomed to qi detection because we are not ever taught about qi detection. So now this thing called qi detection and the usage of qi, right? I like to give you this particular analogy. If one day I tell you that, if you go and catch a rabbit and, the rabbit will grant you the wish, right? So now here's the thing, you have never seen a rabbit before. So just imagine this is going to be a new planet. So new planet, you've never seen a rabbit before. The local alien come and tells you, oh, you want to get wish done. You want to get this happen, right? Oh, just go and catch a rabbit. So first of all, you do not know how the rabbit look like. Would it be possible for you to catch a rabbit? Right. Second, catch onto it. This entire town only got three rabbit into it. You're trying to catch something that you cannot see and it's very little in amount. How does it work? So same thing with qi, right? So I tell you that, for you to do manifestation or certain things, right? You need to basically use qi to get this done. So first of all, you cannot recognize qi. Number two, qi is a very sparse stuff, especially when it is in a urban area. In an urban town, qi is actually super thin. Even for those of us who can detect qi, is a challenge in detecting qi. So for those of you who are commoner, cannot detect qi, it's going to be very different, right? So it's going to be very different. So that's why you find it a bit of a challenge. But now here's the thing, if I tell you, if I can bring you to a place whereby there's a lot of rabbit, you can practice catching rabbit. Would that be helpful for you when you go back to the city to one, recognize rabbit, number two, catch rabbit? Definitely helpful. right? Can you see? So that's why a lot of time, right, we need to go and do certain activity called excursion. So just put it in a way, right? If I'm going to use qi, if I know that there's 5 art that basically uses qi, now I understand that the first art, which is the art of mountain, has to do with qi detection and also exchange of qi from the environment. If I'm stuck at that, option number 2, taking qi from external. So now here's the thing, talking about what food have what qi, you don't know. You want people to give you qi, very difficult. Okay, right? Because not many people have qi and not many people know how to deliver qi from one person to another person. So that's 2 is going to be difficult. So talk about your parzi. Your parzi is your previous qi. God mean God, don't have mean don't have, cannot make any augmentation. Future qi, then you worried about, have to return the qi. You have to return the qi, I just tell you first. Right, so then one of the only one that is very available is basically the current qi, which is feng shui environmental qi. Right, so then very logical is that I should find a way to go to a place whereby the environmental qi is the most abundant. So this is where, a lot of times you have to go for excursion. Last time it's called walk the mountain. So if you study feng shui, right, they will tell you that, you need to walk the mountain for 3 years just to recognize, whatever it is. That's the entire reason, because you need to start to recognize how qi is. You need to go to place whereby the qi concentration is a little bit more higher than normal. And you need to learn a little bit of a skill set on qi detection. Make logical sense for you. Completely very easy to understand. City, qi very sparse. You yourself don't know what the hell qi is. A bit difficult to use. Right? You go for excursion. You look for places whereby qi concentration is very heavy. With guided assistance, you learn how to detect the qi. Now you are familiar with the qi and you also use the qi a little bit. You also are familiar with using the qi. So when you go back to the city that time, now you can recognize qi and use qi. That's the entire reason why, sometimes we go for excursion. Okay, right? So if you go for excursion on your own, you also cannot find places whereby qi concentration is strong enough for you to practice that too. So that's why a lot of time you have to be guided. And this is not a tourist destination that you can book with your tour agent, because why your tour agent don't have this sort of skill set. Right, so let's one of the classical texts. By the way, all these classical texts you can just basically Google from the internet. Right, you can Google from the internet, but here's the thing, I don't think you'll be able to read it. Right. So this is one of the manual. Can you see that this particular manual introduced the entire idea? So by the way, this is what I call the becoming the fairies manual. Right? So there's actually this particular manual. It is a 120 chapters manual that talks about everything in terms of how to become a fairies. Sing Sin. So if you just read it as it is, the entire book basically is a piece of crap. If you do not have the foundation to read this, because the way that it is written is, oh my god. Right, so this is the book. You can actually go and go to the internet and find this particular book. It's already scanned everything. Go and read it. Right? You talk about every single thing, how to prepare yourself, what food to eat, how to do all the meditation, everything. Alright, so how to prepare pills and everything is basically inside this. It's a manual, step-by-step manual on how to become fairies. Right, so in one of the chapter, which is a very useful chapter, it talks about so this is chapter number 27. Okay, chapter number 27. Right, so Dong Tin Fok Tei, right? Dong Tin Fok Tei is the cave or the area, whereby it is basically used by the ancient sage. They have identified 10 of these, right? 10 of these Dong Tin. They identified 10 of these, whereby that tells you that the qi quality of this particular place over the years seems to be pretty good. So you see, for those of them who want to attain this fairies sin, right? So they actually have to travel to this cave, right? So it's cave, right? So that's why go. How we got to return the qi? Jezel, that's the tricky part in using qi is you don't know what's the exchange rate. So that's why please don't simply go and do, right? So I don't know the exchange rate, by the way. Okay, right? So it could be big, it could be small. Yeah, there's certain stuff that you you shall not do, stuff like that, right? Okay, right. So now those if you see me, then I explain to you, right? So under public, usually don't. Okay, right. So back to this one. We talk about different places, right? So we have spent a bit of a time in terms of researching the space. They actually give you where it is, but this is the thing. The information that they give is like very vague, super vague. Right, super vague, right? So like for example, the number one give you like it's within 10,000 li, which is a very big freaking area. Right, right. So then they say that there's a small little space that you can see the sky. What the hell is it? Right, so the place is Luyang lah, the Luyang. So you can go and find China, where the hell is Luyang, right? So you have to do this sort of research, right? Then you compound this with other classical texts that talk about the same thing. Other classical texts some also talk about the same thing, right? So then you'll be able to here's the thing, identify some of this cave. Right, so when you identify some of these cave already, right, very naturally, right? So if you are somebody who is very inclined into this, interested into this, right? So you go and visit the place. Right, today is very easy to travel. Last time you want to go to this particular place, could be a 10-year trekking, don't know, into whatever crazy mountain. So nowadays, take an airplane, boom, fly over to the place, and ask the local. And when you ask the local, then you find out that even the local also doesn't know, right? So now don't blame them because the local has been subjected to a very long, almost 50 or 60 years of complete ban in practicing this sort of stuff. This sort of stuff are classified under the superstitious act in China, which they do not allow. Right, so 10 li is 5,000 km. Okay, too bad, I can say. So can you see that the area is really like freaking big? In actual sense, can say I believe that in the olden day when they tell you it's 10 li, they also actually doesn't know how big is 10 li. But anyway, right? So you guys start to understand in researching this sort of stuff, in going through this sort of classical texts. You need to have a very big hobby heart. I say that crazy one reading this sort of stuff. And especially for an idiot like me who doesn't know Chinese, is the difficulty level become many fold, right? So but never mind, we did our due diligence, went for our excursion trip, right? So that's why you see that I do a lot of excursion, going to places. Oh, by the way, there are no classical texts from Malaysia, by the way. It doesn't exist. Most of the classical text is basically China, right? So that's why China is a good place to do this sort of treasure hunting, look for classical text, right? So now here's the thing, go back to the things, right? So we need qi to basically get things done, right? So it's a bit difficult to identify qi in the city. It's not that I don't have, it's just a bit difficult to identify, and we don't have much experience. Why don't we just go to some place whereby the ancient sage already tells you that this particular freaking place, the qi seems to be really good. If you find this place, if you go there, shouldn't it helps you in terms of the entire idea of qi detection? Good, man, right? So let's go and do it lah, right? So have to go, right? So see you, right, Peggy, right? Can go and see the replay itself, right? So now this is where we want to go in and take a look. So a lot of places that we curate and go for the excursion is actually through understanding of classical text, right? So we understand classical text is written that those are the places, we go and search for it. Then we find it, and what happened is that now we can share this with people like you, right? If you guys are interested in following us for excursion. So this is basically what we do. So we don't go out and do tourist thingy. If you want to go and do tourist thingy, you can sign up for a tourist group. That's it. They are much more cheaper. Seriously, tourist group is much more. I really do not know how does the tour company do it in such a those are pricing, right? So but I also don't interested. But for us who are in this Chinese metaphysics, our tour is anyhow is going to be more feng shui related, right? So it's going to be feng shui related because we want to utilize the qi for our purpose, right? So that's what we basically do. And this one, I just tell you, see, This is one of the 8 fairies, very famous 8 fairies are Pasin. Right, very very famous 8 fairies Pasin. And by the way, a lot of time when they label somebody as a fairy, so they're actually not god from sky. A lot of them are human. Chinese have this uncanny ability of raising a human status until they become fairy status. You can say that these are the ancient day idols. So today we also lift our idol status up high. It's like, whoa. Right, so same thing. Right? So now one of these particular deities, which is called Lui Dongban. Right, so for those of you who do not know Lui Dongban, right, so this is one of the Chinese saying, Gao ngao Lui Dongban. Right, Gao ngao Lui Dongban, 不識好人心. Right, so it's basically telling you the dog biting this guy called Lui Dongban, and which means is there to tell a person who is not thankful, because this Lui Dongban is a really nice guy. Real life human. Is a real life human, that's long time ago, probably about 3,000, but 2,000 plus years ago, right? So 2,000 plus, close to 3,000 years ago, right? He's a scholar, a very, you want to call poor scholar also can, or unfortunate scholar, right? So he is very into this entire idea of getting himself a degree. In the olden day, mean that the imperial exam, trying to get himself, but he wasn't very successful. He failed a lot of time. Right? So he failed many times. He only was able to get his degree while he is 60 years old. So he's very old already. At that point in time, 60 years old is already very old. Right, so I can organize feng shui excursion with making pills. Eating as part of the itinerary. Eating food can, eating pill cannot. Alright, not part of my greater skill. Finding food to eat can, right? Finding good place to eat, I can do that. Okay. Right, so back to this particular fellow, he was 60 years old already, right? So but then he managed to extend his life to quite long. So that's why a lot of people think that he's a fairy. Right, so he's the person who basically founded this Taoism clan, which is called Qun Gao. Right, so you will see, so Qun Ji is one of the, again, Chinese Kung Fu show that talks about the glory of this particular sect. Right, so Qun Gao is China's biggest Taoism clan. Right, which is founded by Lui Dongban. Right, Lui Dongban is the fellow, and they introduced one of these particular kung fu, which is called the Quan Yang Jian Fa. Right, so pure Yang sword method. Right, so for people who are doing the pure Yang sword method, you are not allowed to have sex for the rest of your life. Once you have sex, you lose all your power. Crazy. Right, if you come out today, it must be invented by somebody who got no access to girls. But anyway, right, so I'm just telling you, right, so yeah, China, one of the biggest sect is what they call the Qun Gao, right? So we are able to find the one of the, you want to call descendant, or the fellow who actually right now is continuing the entire idea of teaching the Taoism, the Quanzhen Pai Taoism, all around China, right? So he's somebody who taught in university, talk about all this Taoism thingy, right? So China actually got Taoism university. University teach you how to become fairies, right? So it's governed by the Chinese government under the Chinese Taoism Association, right? So we got the Chinese Taoism Association, which is the umbrella association that take care of all the Taoism, make sure everybody is practicing within the limit of not making it into a superstitious thingy, right? So by the way, Taoism notorious for making things superstitious. Right, so we found the second chairman, right, of the Qun Pai and the Taoism sect, right? So this particular fellow, which is the fellow that we gonna talk about, is this right? So Master Mo Xiangming. So he's a practitioner of this soft bone setting, right? Soft bone setting. 柔性整骨, right? 柔性整骨, right? So he's the practitioner for the past 40 years. So we managed to have a chat with this particular fella, right? So during the trip excursion, we're gonna go and meet him and talk and practice a little bit about this entire idea of Taoism, entire ideas of qi transmission, right? So it's medicinal art, how to transmit qi, right? So because he has agreed, right? He has agreed to basically perform the pulse reading. It's basically to see, how your meridian transfer is, and also, to showcase a little bit of his bone setting skill set. We actually go and visit this particular fellow, right? So why do we want to do this? So now again, the entire idea of you practicing Chinese metaphysics is basically for you to get to the result or the objective that you want. So if you want to get to the result and objective that you want, the Trinity component one is you need to have the intent. So the intent side, I don't have worry because every one of you is very good at imagining things. Okay, next is you need to have the action. The action part also, I don't really worry too much, because it's just doing. It's just a will issue. So these two part of it, I think you can cover on your own. But when you talk about the chi portion, right, it's really a bit difficult, right? At least for the normal fella. So the only way that I can think of to assist everybody in doing this is actually, why don't we all go on a trip, right? So why don't we all go on a trip? We have already done the research. We know where the places whereby the qi concentration is highest, right? So I can teach you skill set on qi detection and also qi manipulation, right? So it's basically qigong skill set, not difficult. Okay, not difficult. Go there with a high qi concentration, easier for you to learn, easier for you to identify. At least you know that, oh, this is how qi actually feel like. So when you come back to your city that time, when you practice the same thing, you would also be able to recognize it. Right? It's just catching rabbit on here. Right? So now then what happens is that, when you go there that time, meet up with these particular people who has practiced this for their entire freaking lifetime. They can show you and explain to you what basically happened. Wouldn't that be great that you can, really go and see a live human, right? So uncle is not very young. Right. Uncle is not very young, but uncle is very strong. All right, uncle is not very young, uncle is very strong. So you'll be able to experience all of this. Right. So the entire idea is for you to right now is to recognize and to be able to use qi. Right. So now the trip that we are talking about is basically the one that Luis has actually kindly organized. So we are going on April. So it's about 1.5 months. We are closing the entire thing by the end of this month because we need to prepare all the booking, the travel document, all those things. So we need to confirm the head count already. Right. So for those of you who want to really experience the entire Chinese metaphysics, especially the feng shui portion, right? So the feng shui portion, we'll go there, we're gonna look at landform, how landform basically affect all this. And of course, in the city, talking about landform is waste of time. Okay, cannot see, all blocked by building. So you need to go to places whereby it is a bit more raw and pure, right? So, with the assistance of the classical text, we are able to identify a few places which coincide very nicely with the classical text itself. So, we can, go to this sort of a cave. Yeah, we are going to visit one of the cave that is inside the ancient text, right? So that purportedly has very, very good qi, right? So then everybody can go in there and start to practice recognizing of qi, right? So then, of course, with the correct time and date that we're going to select for that particular event, it's easier for you to right now to do your manifestation, right? So the what we call the divination part of it become a bit more easier, and you are using land qi as the exchange. Cheaper, all right? It's basically a cheaper exchange, right? So for those of you who want to follow, right? So please do get in touch with any one of us. You can PM us on any of this particular channel. You can go and look for Luis, look for me, doesn't matter. Right, so we will get the right person to get in touch with you and answer whatever question that you need to get yourself to join us in this particular trip. Right, so like what we call just now, I told you there's a lot of misconception that Chinese has do, right? So like for example, in Taoism or in any religion, right, there is always a portion of thing that they tells you that you shall not practice. It's kaya. They call it 戒 stay, mean restriction, right? So it's like, for example, one of it that's very common that everybody know is that, oh, if you practice all this religion thingy, you are not supposed to eat meat. There is no such thing in religion or any of the restriction talking about cannot eat meat. What they talk about is that you shall not kill. It's not you shall not eat meat. It's a two very separate thing. Right? So you need to remember, during when this is developed, we are still in a time whereby hunting is something that is very, you want to eat rabbit, you have to go and kill the rabbit. Makes sense? So the entire idea is that you shall not go and kill the rabbit. You shall not harm another life. Right? So now, here's the thing. If you walk, suddenly walk, and you see a rabbit run, and knock itself on the tree and die, you see, you did not kill the rabbit. You can actually eat the rabbit one. If you go to your friend's house, your friend somehow cook chicken already and invite you to come and eat, you can actually eat the chicken. But if you, let's say that you announce to your friend and then your friend say that, oh, you are coming today, I'll slaughter my chicken, you're in big trouble. Understand or not? That is called shall not kill. It doesn't say that you shall not eat meat. Right? So that's why, there's actually no such thing as vegetarianism in this sort of practice. Start to understand or not, right? So that's why there's a lot of misinterpretation. So for you to basically brush away all this misinterpretation, the best thing for you to do is to visit the place. Easy for you to basically understand it. Would there be anyone doing the translation if I don't understand Chinese? Eva, don't worry lah. I also don't really understand Chinese. We'll be speaking in English, you don't worry. We'll be speaking in English. If the fella speak in Chinese, we'll translate. Right? As much as possible, we will basically translate. Don't worry about that. So we got Luis there. He's from Chinese school, so he will do the translation for you and me. It's me also Chinese blur one. You don't worry. Okay, I also Chinese blur case type of person. All right, so don't worry about that. Yes, we'll try to translate as much as possible. Right, so I will give this great job to Luis. Right, come over and join us, right? So 12 April is a 8 or maybe 9 day, 8 or maybe 9 day, right? So type of situation, right? So come over and play around with us. We teach you a lot of stuff, a lot of ancient classic texts that we have discovered. We try to explain to you so that you don't have this misunderstanding on a lot of things, right? So I also find it very amazing after spending a bit of time going through all these classical texts with the great assistance of Google Translate. Right, so I also find that a lot of the things that, last time, they all translated in this particular manner is actually a very different manner. Right, when you go back to the time and you appreciate, what is happening at that particular time, it's actually a very different zone. Right, so, the way that for you to understand right now is that actually to visit those type of places. Right, so do we see those type of places to have a look at, what is the situation there. So one thing good about China is that a lot of places is very pristine, which means that they have not been developed. Yeah, I'm telling you, places that we go is usually not very developed. How are we gonna return the qi in Qimen? No worry, Qimen will come and collect one. It's not about how do you return the qi. They will come and collect. So when they come and collect, that time you don't have qi enough to return, then good luck to you lah. Okay, right? So that's basically Qimen practice. You use up. It's really like taking a loan from the bank. Take a loan from the bank lah. Right now you get the bank. Then the bank will come and collect the money. If you cannot collect the money, then they auction you off lah. That's pretty simple, right? So someone will pay for the shortcoming. Right. So up to you. Cool. Right. So I'll have a bit of a discussion on that. When we are in the excursion. Right. So this sort of stuff. Closer people can talk to, because I know whether you are stable or not. Through internet, I don't know what is your stability. Right, so there's a lot of things that we'll be doing, a lot of days that we're going to be going out, right? So if you're interested in it, do PM us in any manner that you feel you want. I will get the right person to come and service you. Collect in what way? Revenge, bad luck, I don't know, dear, because I don't know what do you ask for. Right, I don't know what do you ask for. So the exchange rate is very vastly different. Right, exchange rate is super vastly different. Right, so though the collection also I don't know. right? So good luck with you, you know, if you are practicing blindly. Okay, right? So back to this one, right? Back to this one. No, do get in touch with us, right? So we are really closing it by the end of this particular month because we need to prepare all the payment. We need to prepare all the travel arrangement, especially documentation. Yeah, you know, one thing about going to China is that a lot of documentation is required. So China not very friendly with tourists. Okay, all right. So that's it. See you guys. Bye.